We found the best time to charge our devices when we stop for a break or lunch, but the problem with these stock ports is that for power to be supplied to it, you have to have the key on. So when you have your key on, your headlights could be on, fuel pumps could be on, other accessories could be turned on and will drain your battery. What we want to do is create an option that we can charge our cell phones or other devices without turning the key on, and that's what this how-to is all about. My key is off, this is on, you can see my phone's still charging, and I can see I've got 13.8 volts. That battery is fully charged, so having stuff plugged into it's not going to hurt. Most ATVs come with a 12-volt accessory plug already installed. Usually it's a socket-style adapter, which works great for most 12-volt accessories like spotlights, tire inflators, and you can charge your cell phones off it using a car adapter. The problem with using a car adapter is, for one, you can forget it at home, and two, when you put the car adapter in the plug, you can't put the waterproof cap back over, and so water can get inside the charging port and ruin it. So we're going to install an accessory charger on the other side to prevent this from happening. We have a quick and easy charging solution that we can install on any ATV. The only thing you need is a positive and negative wire run to the battery, a 12-volt switch, and a charging port. The first step to this modification is getting a positive and negative wire to the switch location. You can accomplish this a number of ways. You can run a line directly back to the battery or another point on the machine where you can get a good positive or negative. I've explained before that the relay contactor for a winch is a great place to pull power and ground, but your machine may vary. If you are running a positive wire back to the battery, you want to put an inline fuse to prevent shorts or fires. On this machine, I've pulled power and ground from the contactor relay of my winch, and so I have a positive and ground up here in the headlight assembly already that I'm going to tie into to install my switches. For the rocker switch, I decided on an illuminated button switch like this. There's a couple reasons I chose this. For one, with it lit up, you can tell if the power is on from a distance. The second is some of the switches come in a rectangular shape. Rectangular shapes are really hard to cut in plastic effectively. I've never been able to do it. This requires a 3/4 inch drill bit. And I also looked up other switches on Amazon, and most of them have a 3/4 inch circle. So if I ever have to replace this switch, it's likely that I'll be able to find a button switch to replace that will fit in the existing hole. How I wire these is the black goes to the ground, the second one goes to the battery, the third goes to the accessory. You'll also notice that the wires stick out the back of this plug a few inches. So I need to keep that in mind as I'm trying to find a place to install the switch. I need to have enough room behind it that I can route the wires behind the switch where it's not going to get pinched or cut. I'm going to remove the top piece and verify there's nothing back here behind this. I know there's not because I've already done this on a couple of our ATVs. But you want to make sure that wherever you ultimately end up installing your charger, that it's in close proximity to your switch, so it makes the wiring very easy. So the next step, I'm going to take off this top part and make sure there's nothing hidden behind here so I can drill a hole through here. Whoop. Come off. I'm going to install the accessory charging port here and the switch here. An advantage to having it in such close proximity, as you can see as you turn the handlebars, this whole unit moves as one piece, so the wires aren't going to be pulled and stretched as you turn. So this is a perfect solution to put the charging port here and the switch here. I verified there's nothing critical on the back side here, so I can drill the 3/4 inch hole for the switch here, and I'll drill a 1 1/8 hole right here to fit the accessory charging port. So we verified this is the correct place to put the switch. This is the 3/4 inch drill bit. I'm using a wood bit. Go slow, especially on a 20-year-old machine. This plastic can be brittle. So take it nice and slow so you don't break anything. This is the perfect place. You want to make sure it's centered so you have enough plastic around the outside of your hole to mount the switch, but that looks to be pretty centered on that. I'm going to miss this bracket coming up in here. There's no wires back here to tangle, so I'm going to slowly start drilling. And you can see it starting to cut into the plastic. Let's take it nice and slow. There we go. Now we've reached the point of no return. You drill a hole in your machine, you screw it up, your wife's going to beat you. I have my positive and negative pulled through the hole. I'm not going to plug anything in yet because I want to make sure that all the wiring is intact before I put everything back together. I have to tear it apart again. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the negative to the negative on my switch. These are tight connectors. And then here's the middle one, goes to the positive. And if everything is wired up correctly, when I flip the switch, there should be power. I have power to the switch, so all I have to do is connect the positive and negative to the USB port and install everything into the machine. Now it's time to drill the hole in the headlight assembly to install the USB charging port. If you look at this, there is a lock ring on the back, so keep that in mind as you're drilling a hole. You need to have enough room to be able to secure this lock ring to it. The diameter I tested with the caliper is 1 1/8 inch for this. I think that's a standard size for these adapters. Most of them I saw on Amazon had a cutout of 1 1/8, so we're good there. We're gonna once again look in here, make sure there's nothing on the backside that I'm gonna run into. And we just had a battery die. Had we had this accessory port installed, we wouldn't have run out of battery in the middle of drilling a hole in the headlight assembly. Well, sometimes things don't go as planned. And that's okay. They're happy little accidents. This plastic is a little brittle. When it broke through, the drill kind of jumped sideways, so it kind of made a weird cut, but that's fine.
And it didn't go all the way through.
It didn't go all the way through. It's just a scratch. This is actually the perfect location for this charger because I can see on the backside threading through, I'm way far away from anything that could cause interference. And you can tell this hole is tight because I can't just push it in. I have to thread it in. That's how tight it is. That's what you want. You want it to be tight as possible. I need to put this snap ring on. To get to that, I have to remove the headlight. And by removing the headlight, you can probably actually see a lot better what's going on in here. So what I need to do is put the snap ring here. So now I have the USB port installed here in the headlight assembly. All I need to do is connect the wiring and test for functionality. So the positive I'm going to bring from the switch. So I need to feed all these wires back into the headlight assembly. And now I just need to find my negative post that I've got. Right there. Go ahead and kick that switch on. And we've got a lighted switch and we have 12.7 volts here. So we know it's all wired up correctly. The last step is to push this button in and put everything back together. So we're done here. You can see the illuminated switch is put in the machine. We've got the USB accessory port here. They're all both working. You can turn it off, on, independent on if the key is in the machine or not. So hopefully you find this modification useful and we'll see you out on the trails.